What's so funny? Lessons from Canada's Leacock Medal for Humour Writing. Lesson number 15. Why we like idealized images. Hi, I'm Dick Bourgeois-Doyle, and this is a review of the 1962 Leacock Medal winner, Jake and the Kid, by W.O. Mitchell. The shiny shoes, pressed pants, and neatness pictured on my copy of W.O. Mitchell's Jake and the Kid would amuse anyone who has ever lived on a farm. The Rockwell-like artwork on the cover of the book features a spotless barn interior that looks out into bright daylight, where a young boy sits on a horse. The older man, in clean shoes and straight coveralls, holds a strap coming from the bridle. At times, reading Jake and the Kid feels just like a stroll through a Norman Rockwell painting. It's a Saving Kittens at Christmas version of the Canadian prairies. It makes you nod and smile. And this is not a bad experience, but the book's real value comes in its relevance to the real world, where you have to watch what you step into and where you step. This book, which won the Leacock Medal in 1962, features the relationship between Jake, the hired hand, and the Kid, an unnamed boy who tells the story and who helps his mother farm while his father is overseas in World War II. The Kid's life revolves around the farm, school, and the mythical town of Crocus, Saskatchewan. Starving to make sense of the world, that boy soaks up Jake's every word with wide eyes and the certainty that his hero Jake always knows what he's talking about. Too old for World War II, Jake often talks about days at Vimy Ridge in the Great War and his battle with the Boers before that. In fact, the farmhand never passes over a chance to reference anything that can relate to the Kid's problems. Jake's recollections of Louis Riel and Wilf Laurier seem dubious and they conflict with historical facts. But he seems to believe this stuff himself and always has a goal beyond puffing himself up. In everything he says, he's just trying to reassure the Kid and make life a little easier. Jake explains to the Kid that the difference between women and other humans is their preoccupation with having things just so. And it rings true. Miss Henchbaugh, the teacher, is always insisting on decimal points being in just the right place, and the Kid's ma takes great care every Sunday to saliva down each and every hair in her son's head before church, making it just so. The stories are comforting and easy to absorb. Jake's explanations are simultaneously innocent and shrewd, nonsensical and commonsensical, and we smile because it all has an undertone of caring and a desire to lessen the hardship. Jake is not alone. Crocus has other yarn spinners who have seen the deepest snow, the worst dust storms, the biggest hailstones, rust and dust, hail and sawfly and cutworm and drought. Terrible things. But Jake and his cohorts make their fears seem silly with tall tales. Halfway through the book, in the Liar Hunter episode, one character explains, "These men lie about things that hurt them most. If a man can laugh at them, he's won half the battle. When he exaggerates things, he isn't lying really, it's a defense. He can either do that or squeal." In the same way, it doesn't matter much that W.O. Mitchell's Paradise in the Prairie never really existed. Like the Rockwellish painting on my book, the thought of someone like Jake watching over you makes a good reference when wrestling with the reality of the world in any era. And the popularity of Jake and the Kid books, in radio and TV as well, over many decades, suggests that lots of Canadians are like me, inclined to the idea of a boy trying to make sense of the world and a regular guy trying to make life a little softer with his stories. Now here's a writing exercise inspired by Jake and the Kid. Identify the thought that frightens you most. Then describe it in exaggerated, silly terms.